Now we have learned that there is an operating system called Cisco iOS, which is saved in a location called flash memory in the format .bin. I even showed you the operating system that was there inside the folder called flash. And then I also explained to you how important it is to have a flash card instead of having hard disk. Hard disks are vulnerable, so you cannot have a router for long run if you have hard disk. Hard disk cannot be keep on spinning. That's not for a long run. Hard disks will become slower after some days. The motor will become weaker. The needle which is reading will also become old. The reading arm. So using a flash card, we also call it as SSD, solid state drive, SSD. So that is what actually good for two things. One, for long lasting. Number two, the weight of the device. If you keep the big hard disk in a laptop becomes very heavy. This hard disk will be like half kilo, 750 gram, 500 gram in size. Whereas this SSD will be few grams, like 1, 2, 3 grams, maybe 10 grams maximum. No, 10 is too much. Like 5 grams. So Cisco has got a flash, so that the routers will not get repaired very soon. All right. Now next what we are going to learn is, we already saw this, but I'm just going to remind you. As soon as I turn on the router, a mini boot we call it as ROM mode. It's a very tiny operating system just to kickstart the device. With this mini boot ROM on operating system, which is permanently kept inside a read-only memory chip inside the motherboard. With the help of that, the router will try to locate the flash memory. See, to locate the flash, you need some program. No? In flash only we have the operating system. To go to the flash, we need some help, right? That is what this mini boot, very tiny operating system. It's not the router's operating system. It is the operating system that will help the router to to go to the flash card and load the real operating system that controls the router. So as soon as we turn on, we see a booting process. That is what we call booting process. It goes to the flash and it copies. See, it is not going to use the operating system, it is just going to copy the operating system. Means a copy is made. The original is still there. Original operating system will never be altered. Will never get alterated. Will be always there. The original operating system will be always there. In the flash memory, it will be always there. A copy from the operating system is made. On the way, it will go to another memory called NVRAM. And then it will go to DRAM. So the operating system is copied to DRAM, but on the way it is going to NVRAM Y to just load the yesterday's configuration. See, you might have done a lot of configuration in the same router yesterday. When you save the configuration, only those configurations will go and get saved here. The operating system will never be altered. The original will be always here. So whenever you start the router, it will go and check whether NVRAM has got some configuration. It will take the configuration, attach it to the operating system. And you will see in the DRAM, not just the skeleton of the operating system, you will even see the previous configurations. That is the reason why on the way it is going to NVRAM. NVRAM is nothing but non-volatile RAM. Non-volatile random access memory. NVRAM. So it goes to NVRAM in order to copy the previous works. What if the NVRAM is empty? Let's say we have not done any configuration in the past. It's the first time. So you will now see in the DRAM only the operating system with no configuration. Say for example, so I'm going to drag a router, say it's a fresh router. Because there is no configuration done before, it will copy. See, actually it is decomposing the image and it is okay, finished. This question mark, this question, you know when you will get? Only if NVRAM is empty. Only if this empty. Only when there is nothing to copy from NVRAM. You will get this question mark. Do you have any question? Now, we have to say no here. Why I should say no? Why not yes? See, we are going to learn commands. And we will configure the router, whatever that we want the router to do. But if you don't learn commands, for some people who feels like I don't want to learn, I just bought this router, I want to configure this without learning how to configure. They don't want to learn, but they have spent money in buying the router and they expect to configure with no training. They can say yes. If you say yes, it is going to ask you some questions with which it will do the configuration. You don't need to go and put command and configure. It will ask you a question. Do you want to provide IP address? What is the IP address? What is the subnet mask? What is the name of the router? Do you want to enable telnet? So a lot of questions it will ask. You need to answer the first question if you want to see the second question. But what if I don't want to configure the first question? You cannot escape. That's the problem with the dialog-based configuration. Dialog-based configuration is like a template. You answer the first one, it will go to the second one. You answer the second one, you go to it will ask you the third question. The configuration that you are trying to make may be 10th question. So you have to answer 9 questions which you really don't want. That's the problem with this dialogue based. So we will always say no here. If you say yes, you no need to know commands, you need to know only English. See, I'm saying yes. Just only once I'm saying yes. You can also try once. But we always say what? We usually say yes or no here. Kiran, I told you. Yeah. We'll always say no. Why we say no? Come again? Yeah. We use commands so that we can go straight to where we want to configure. If you know commands, you don't need to answer a lot of questions. You don't need to do a lot of configurations. You can go straight to what you want to configure and come out. So if I say yes, see it is asking. You want to enter into management setup? Again, yes or no. I really don't want to enter into management. I say no. Would you like to see the current information summary? No. You want to give the router name? So like this, see, actually I do not want to configure all of this. But I have to do this in order to go to the next question. This is the limitation of dialog based. So I'm going to come out of it. Just press Ctrl C to come out of it. Let me restart the router to show you again. I did not save any configuration. I'm restarting. You see, whenever you have this question, continue with configuration dialog, yes or no. You need to understand that NVRAM is empty. There is nothing configured in the past. It's a fresh router. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say no here. And this one we call it as user mode. User mode. In the user mode, you cannot do any configuration. You can only see some previous configured information. For example, show IP interface brief. If you want to see all the interfaces, I can see here. Show IP interface brief. It shows all the interface in a brief manner. But I see all the interfaces are in down state. So you cannot do any configuration. We cannot assign an IP address in this mode. This is simply a mode where some limited show commands will work. Limited show commands will work in this mode. We can see some statistics, that's all. Right, so next is we say enable. This we call it as what mode? Privilege mode. This is the mode where you can show everything. Show, You see, for example, show run. What does this mean? Show running configuration means show me all that is there in the DRAM. Don't forget DRAM. If I want to see all that is there inside this DRAM, the command is show running config. You can type in a lowercase or uppercase, that doesn't matter. This command will not work in the user mode, it will work only in the privilege mode. I typed enable. Even if you type en, it understands as enable. So I type enable to get into this mode called privilege mode. This greater than symbol mode is user mode. This is privilege mode. The privilege mode, when I type show running, you can see the operating. This is the operating system. See, operating system version is 12.4. There's a default router name called router. There is no IP address configured. This is a skeleton of the operating system. This skeleton. This is the default skeleton of the operating system, which is loaded into DRAM. So do we have operating system in Flash? Yes. We did not cut and paste it. It is staying there only. We just took a copy of it and we have decomposed into the DRAM. This is what the decomposed operating system structure. Now, did I save anything so far? No. So what will be the status of NVRAM? Will I see anything in NVRAM? Will you see anything in NVRAM now? Okay. Now I ask you a question. What is the command used for seeing the DRAM? To see the NVRAM, this is the command. Show startup configuration. Because starting time only that NVRAM is seen. So show startup configuration, because we did not save anything, startup configuration is not present, which means the NVRAM is empty. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some configuration. For example, see this host router name. This router name I want to change it into host name. This is the command. Host name is one word. Listen, it's not two word. Host name is one word. I say host name RA. See, immediately the name change happened. But this change that I made is not saved into NVRAM. It is in DRAM. It is in DRAM. You want to see show running configuration. Let me go. Show commands will work in the privilege mode only. Show running configuration. You see the host name. Earlier it was router, but now I changed it to RA. But you will not see this in the startup. Show startup. Carefully watch. There is no configuration. But if I save the configuration, what is the command? Copy. Please tell me from where to where we are saving? From where to where we are saving the configuration? From DRAM to NVRAM. What do you call the DRAM configuration? What is the name given to the DRAM configuration? Running configuration. Correct? What is the name given to the NVRAM configuration? Very good. Now we need to say copy running configuration into startup into and all you don't need to type. Show running config to startup config. Now it is asking, are you sure you want to save in this name? Yes. Finish. It says saved. Now you see earlier when I typed show startup, nothing was present. But now it shows the same thing. You see, show startup configuration shows the same thing that you saw in the running configuration. Now if I turn off the router and on it, it won't ask you that question which you used to ask. Dialog based yes or no. See, it did not ask you the question. Why? Because there is some configuration already copied from NVRAM. What is the host name we gave? I should see it now. You see, hit enter. Do you see the name now? So whenever you save some configuration to NVRAM, that question won't come again when you restart. So far, what I have said is there are three locations where the informations are stored. One is flash memory, operating system is stored. Second one is the NVRAM where the saved configurations are kept. The third one is DRAM where whatever you type temporarily till you switch off the router, whatever you typed will be saved temporarily. So that is DRAM, dynamic RAM. And also I showed you after the operating system decompresses, if NVRAM is empty, then only it will ask you want to configure using the setup using dialog, yes or no. It won't ask you if there is some configuration already there in NVRAM. The very first mode you will see is the user mode. This is the user mode, the greater than symbol. In this user mode, can we do configuration? No. Can I see running configuration here? You see it won't come. Show running. No, the command is not available. So there are some commands like show IP interface brief. Some show commands only will work here. Means limited show commands. The statistics of the router can be known here, but not in detail, only with a limit. Only with the limit, not in detail. So this user mode will not allow you to configure. This user mode will not provide you the complete configured information, only a limited information. Now, what are all the limited informations? You just put question mark and see. These are the commands that will work in this mode. Every mode has got a list of commands supported. In this mode, only these are the commands supported. You see, show is one command. You type show and put question mark. Under show commands, these are the things that are available in this user mode. See, you are not going to memorize any of these commands. Don't worry. As we learn, you will learn all the necessary commands. Now what I should know is, how can I go to next mode called privilege mode, where I can see all my configuration, even the running configuration, startup configuration. For that, the command is, you see, enable. If you don't know what this command will do, you can see here the description. Turn on the privileged mode commands. Means it will take you to the privileged mode so that you can have a privileged commands. Means all commands. So we type enable. See, if I type en, it understands as enable. You know why? There's only one command with en in the list. So you no need to type enable, enable. I can also use tab button. See, I'm going to hit tab button. It fills the remaining character for me. Why? Because there is no other command starting with en. So this is the privilege mode. Privilege mode will have a hash symbol. Now in the privilege mode, if you type config t, there is a command called configure terminal. See, I'm not typing, okay? I'm just typing few character and hitting tab button. It fills the remaining character for me. Configure terminal. This command will take me to a next mode called global configuration mode. Global configuration mode. See, hit enter. Look at this. The prompt changed. Earlier it was only hash, but now router config hash, meaning this is the mode called global configuration mode. What is global configuration mode? Any configuration that is applicable for entire router, they are called as global configuration mode. Any configuration that is particular to a interface, that is interface configuration mode. This is global configuration mode, applicable for entire router. Right. So we are in the global configuration mode, and we are going to now configure something global. For example, router name is a global configuration mode. It's for the entire router. It's not for one particular interface on the router. I already showed you changing. I'm going to show you one more time. Host name, Kiran. See, the name is changed to Kiran. Now, if I want to connect a computer, you see this video and try start using this simulator. My aim is to ping from this PC to this router. So on this interface, I want to give IP address 10.0.0.1. How can I give? What is the interface name? F00. So from the global configuration mode, you need to type interface F00. F means fast Ethernet. I simply type F and then press tab. It gave me the remaining characters. Interface F0/0. By default, the interface will be down, so you should say no shutdown to wake it up and put the IP address 10.0.0.1 followed by the mask. So I have given an IP address in a mode called interface mode. It's not global configuration mode. See IF. Global configuration mode will not have IF. It will have simply config. Here you have config followed by IF. Because I typed this command and I went inside the interface mode. I said no shutdown. By default, it will be in a shutdown state. To cancel it, I put no shutdown. The interfaces have come up. I have also assigned an IP address. You can check it here. To check, you need to go to the privilege mode. So you type exit, again exit. Only in the privilege mode show commands will work. Show IP interface brief. This command is a command which works both on privilege mode as well as user mode. You can see now F00 has got an IP address and it is up in state because I said no shutdown. Earlier I showed you it was in down state. Earlier when I was checking, it was in a down state. This command is applicable both in user mode and also in privilege mode. To know the commands that are supported in the privilege mode, put question mark. You see, you will see lot of more commands here. Lot of commands because in privilege mode you will have privilege of seeing everything. Now we have assigned an IP address to this interface. Let's go to the PC and assign IP address. This is a simulated computer. I'm giving IP address 10.0.0.2. Now, no need of gateway because they are in same LAN. I can now check the IP address and start pinging. ipconfig is the command to see the operating system on your Windows machine. And this is the IP address we have assigned. I'm going to ping the router's address. 10.0.0.1 is the router's address, correct? I should get reply. Look at this. I'm getting reply. So we are able to communicate from this computer to this router now. I don't want to overload you.